Hello, guys. Welcome back to the FPL Duo. Back again for another stream, as always, on a Saturday. It is a later one than usual. Half one deadline today, which is nice. Was Easter holiday or Easter weekend, I should say. But yeah, double game week 33. It's a big one. As you can see from my team, the bench boost is active. So we'll get into it shortly. But yeah, how you doing, Jordan? Obviously, we went out yesterday, which was good. But yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. It's been obviously happy Easter to everyone. Hopefully you have a nice weekend. But yeah, obviously back to the grind. I think it's refreshing to have a later deadline and no early kickoff fixture. Yeah, another busy week, including doubles, so it should be exciting again for another double game week.
hmm Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this one. All right, let's get this. So I'll kick off with my team. In goal, I have Raya. Again, double game week player, which is nice. In the back three, I have Konsa, Munoz, and Saliba. All have double game weeks. In the midfield five, I have Saka, Salah, Savinho, and Murphy. Salah and Murphy being the only single game week players. However, I will be taking out Murphy for. No, I'll come on to in a sec. And then up front, I've got Mateta and Marmoush. Double game week. And on the bench boost is I've got Ariola, Kusanov, Byrne, and Isak. And again, I will be taking another transfer. So I've only got one free transfer at the moment with my team. So I'm looking at -4, if I'm being honest. It's not what I ideally planned for, but because Foden and etc. got injured and what was the case, that's the position I'm in right now. So we'll see how it goes. Let's pull up your boss team, Jordan. 1 second. Here you go.
So yeah, this is my current team at the moment. So Pickford in goal. The back three is Munoz, Milenkovic, and Ait Nuri, with the midfield five being Salah, Rogers, Palmer, and Sarr. And the final three up front is Isak, Marmoush, and Mateta. And then on the bench, we've got Vardy, Marson, Mbermo, Huijsen, and Mikalenko. So, unlike me, I'm not in a position to bench boost this week, so I'll have to hold off on that because I have a non-playing goalkeeper, which is obviously the Brentford one. So, currently this week, the captain is currently on Mateta. That is going to change, and that's part of my obviously plans going forward. Definitely Palmer's coming out my team, so I will discuss that in this stream as well. And yeah, I have one free transfer as well, so there's not much I can really do apart from one move. I don't want to take a hit or anything like that, so I do want to include another double game week player. And as you might have guessed from the thumbnail, you probably know who that player will be. But currently, that is the bus team as it stands at the moment. In terms of moving on, you might as well see what the plan is in terms of the moves. I have 2.4 million in the bank with one free transfer. Now, the move I am planning to make is obviously it's taking out Palmer, as Chelsea just have had the drop, and Palmer hasn't scored since I think game week 22. So it's been quite a few weeks since we've had something from Palmer, and it's about time I think we now get rid of him. So the player I'm deciding to bring in around his price mark is De Bruyne, who has Everton and Aston Villa in his double this week. So it does mean I've got double Man City attack, which I sort of prefer than going with defence. Whether he starts or plays both games, I think he will, if I'm honest, because this is his last season, De Bruyne, for those who don't know. After this season, he's going to leave Man City. So I think he'll want to go up on a high. I think Pep will agree with that as well. So I'm positive that De Bruyne will get a few, well, not 90 minutes, but we'll get a lot of minutes in both of those fixtures.
I was just going to say on De Bruyne, we might get team news. We should get team news because Man City is the early kickoff. 3 p.m. or not early, but they're the 3 p.m. kickoff. So we should hear something. Would your plans change if you find out, for example, he's benched? I'm assuming. Or would you just keep him and hope he comes on and plays against Villa?
I think I still would keep him, even if he is benched. There's
Okay.
not a lot more else I'm really considering doing other than that move, and I do want to get rid of Palmer regardless. And the only options other than Palmer is Rashford
Yeah.
for Aston Villa. I've got
Saka
triple.
as well, potentially.
I mean, on Saka, I'm not 100% with him whether he'll start both or he'll be benched in one or the other. But obviously, we'll see the training. It depends how he, because they did go through, obviously through to the other league competition. So
Yeah.
again, that does rely on how much Saka plays in the Premier League now, in this double, especially. So yeah, I'm not too keen on Saka. I think I'm right going without him, if I'm honest. And I got triple Crystal Palace, so I can't be bringing any more from there. So the only real options is going for a Aston Villa player in the midfield, like a Rashford. But again, team dependent if he'll play or not. There's a lot of ifs about a lot of these double game week players this game week. So I think it's going to be luck of the roll of the dice on who starts and who doesn't, and how many minutes they players play in these double game weeks. But I am chasing rank as well, so there's a lot of reasoning behind going with De Bruyne too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. So you're looking at De Bruyne in. For who is it for? Sorry,
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. Yeah, probably makes sense. That's what I'd probably be doing as well. I like De Bruyne as a pick. We know he got the goal and the assist, I think, last game week against Palace. And yeah, I'm just going to wait on team news. Hopefully he does start. But you can never trust Pep, I think, especially when we see what happened to me last week. I took out Foden to bring in Savinho, and then Savinho was benched. It's whether I think Savinho will start as well. I've seen leaks that he's in it, but he was in the leaks last week. So, again, I'm not sure. Let's take a few comments. Spurs, hey guys, heard any news if Saka starts any of them, especially the first game? There's no news surrounding Saka yet. Whether he starts both, he might not do. He might come off the bench for at least maybe one of them. He sits on the bench. We know Arsenal have gone through in the Champions League after their impressive win against Real Madrid. So all eyes will be on Champions League now for Arsenal, because Liverpool will probably secure the league they could actually win the league this weekend. If Arsenal lose to Ipswich and Liverpool win, then the league could be finished. Unlikely, probably goes to next week. But there is that possibility. Yeah. And if it wraps up, then you'd assume, Arsenal manage Saka's minutes. But I think Saka's fine. If you've got him, you definitely play him, because he will get minutes in the next two, in my opinion.
And obviously, this question concerns your team, Huss, but you're on the bench, Bruce, so that doesn't really matter who's on the bench or who's starting, really.
Yeah, just so, Matthew, I'm on a bench boost, and Murphy will be coming out my team, if I'm being honest. The plan is, I'll show you my plans quickly. Give me a sec. So I got transfers. Murphy will be coming out. I'll be bringing in Morgan Rogers as planned. And then it's now where I take a hit, because currently my bench boost is Areola, Burn, Kusanov, who, again, I'm not sure about how much minutes he gets, and Isak. What would you do, Jordan, if you're in my position right now? Would you take out Kusanov for a Vardio? Would you take out Burn for someone, for example? Would you bench boost with Burn? Because ideally, I do not like the fact I have to bench boost with someone like Dan Burn against Villa away, which is a tough game. What would you do in my position? Let's assume, we do Rogers, because I'm assuming you think that's a good move. Do I take a hit to sort out the bench boost? Because my bench boost is not ideal, I don't think, with the current setup.
Well, yeah, because really you're sort of limited to who you can replace if you want a double game player, because you've got triple Arsenal. You don't have triple Aston Villa, but you've already got cons already, so you don't want double Arsenal defense. That really only leaves you to you can't even go with a Man City player because you've got Kusanov.
Yeah, I have to do Kusanov to someone. and bench boost Burn, unless I want to take a -8.
I think you might have to just bench boost with Bird and swap Kushnoff out for Guardiola.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't see who you could swap for Burton.
I'll do Vardio in. Keep Dan Burn on a bench boost, which again is not ideal.
Unless you do Bradley to Burn, because that's what you said you were considering.
I was considering it, but the problem is that's a -4 or -8 in total, but another -4 to do Burn to Bradley. Does Bradley get you a return to make it worth the while? And Trent is now back from injury. Trent was training yesterday, but Slot did say Bradley will start pretty much because Trent has just come back. So Bradley will play in 33. Yeah. Does Bradley outscore Burn by how many points? Because I don't really like taking a -4 for a defender, if you know what I mean, for a single defender, for another single defender. Because not against the realm of possibility, Newcastle do keep a clean sheet. But yeah, I don't know if I should do it, for another single. If with a double defender, a double gaming defender, I might have done it. Yeah. For a single, I feel like it's tough.
Unless you take a risk and stick with Kushnoff and hope he plays both, and then swap Burn for Bradley, and then it's the risk of whether Kushnoff plays both.
That's the thing. That's where I'm at now.
So
and that'll still be a minus. Yeah, no, it'll still be a -4.
Yeah, still be a -4, just reversed defender picks.
Yeah.
But what you have now is probably the safe option because Guardiola is set for both and Burn. Best.
I think I want to take the safe option. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, because it is a tough one.
The reason I want to take the safe option is because I've got Savinho, who isn't a safe option. So if I have Kusanov and Savinho, it feels like you're taking a very big risk with the Man City assets. Whereas Vardio sort of is the safe option. Savinho is my risky one if he gets benched or not. Because if I don't have Savinho playing and I don't have Kusanov playing, it's sort of a double whammy, and that's like a lot of my team.
Yeah. Because I could possibly see Savinho playing at least one of those fixtures. At least start at least one and then be benched in the other. So he sort of acts as a single.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. I think I'm just going to do Kusanov to Vardio, which is annoying because I wanted him in the first place, but I had Foden, so I couldn't go Vardio. I had to cheap out. So the Man City assets have ruined my bench boost because if I didn't use the Foden transfer to switch him to Savinho, and now I'm switching Kusanov to Vardio, I could have had 2 more free transfers. I could have done Burn to Bradley, and I also would have took a risk and played aggressive and done Isak out for Watkins, or I could have done even Sarr out for someone like Rashford, something crazy like that. Like I could have done that, but now I just can't do it because the Man City picks in my wildcard have failed. Foden and Kusanov mainly.
Yeah, you never know. Newcastle get a corner, Dan Burn could header it. Attack return right there. That's the only hopeful thing I think from that game is an attack return from Dan Burn. So the possibilities of a clean sheet low.
I'm waiting for City leaks as well.
Oh yeah, onto that. If we hear there's a leaked lineup for Man City before this deadline's over, I will switch my captain to De Bruyne. But that's
if you hear he starts. Well, what if he doesn't start the second one though?
I won't mind as much. It depends on how he gets on in the first one, but that's what I'll probably do. It's stuck on my tester at the moment, but if we hear early team news Man City, I will captain De Bruyne.
Jenny says, "Hi guy, thoughts on De Bruyne captain?" Well, look, Jordan's looking to do it if he starts.
Yeah,
if we get team news.
Yeah, exactly. That's if we get early team news, because otherwise I'm just going to stick with Mateta on that one. But yeah, I think you should chase him rank like I am. I think going for a captain like De Bruyne is way out of there because you never know. It could be one of those games where De Bruyne has a good one. He did get a goal and assist against Crystal Palace last week in that 5-2 win. So this might be the right time.
Michael, bench boost Livramento or sell to Bradley for a -4. It's sort of my position, but I've got Burn instead of Livramento. I I'd probably just keep Livramento, you know. I don't know what you think. For a defender, for a -4, I'm not massive unless it's a double, personally. But Bradley does have Leicester, which is a great fixture. Could get a clean sheet. Maybe Liverpool, you'd expect a clean sheet from Liverpool. Can you get an attack in return as well? Is the question. Would you do it, Jordan?
No, I think I would just stick with bench booster Livramento because he does get an assist here and there, and you never know with Aston Villa. We like to play a high line. There could be options for Livramento to get an attack return over a clean sheet. And yeah, I think I would prefer Livramento over Dan Burton because of that. I don't think because I'm not sold on. Well, actually, I'm not sold on Bradley. Obviously, from Trent being back as well.
But Slot's confirmed. Slot's confirmed that Trent will be on the bench.
Oh, okay.
So you're fine for 33, 34, 35, 36. The longer term.
For long term.
Yeah, you don't know.
And Spurs 64. I have my captaincy on Mateta, but his goal drought and early subs are making me think twice. Yeah, obviously he's just come back from a considerate injury, a head injury, but I mean his minutes will have to be played from it still. And yes, it wasn't a great double game week from him in terms of captaincy, but if he could score early on in a game, then I think it's worthwhile. And from last week, obviously, Man City beating them 5-2 is a heavy defeat.
I'm not keen on Mateta captaincy, I don't think. We've got Bournemouth and Arsenal. I think Salah, we'll come on to Salah. I don't think he's a bad shout for captaincy. Even though he's got a single this week, he's going to play 90 minutes, 100%. Liverpool could put 3-4 past Leicester, who are very poor, by the way. He might outscore some double game week players, I think, this week. But a lot of people will be swayed away because obviously he only has a single. What do you make of Salah this week, Jordan? Because I think he could outscore a lot of these doublers.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, he has it in him, Salah. I think he has had 1 assist in the last 3 games for no goals. So I don't know if that puts people off, even though he has Leicester.
Yeah, that's why I think it could be a nice differential because I don't think people will be looking at Salah. That's what tempts me a bit, but
it's a bit of it's one of those in a double game week, especially. You want to sort of try and go different. Salah is maybe a way to.
I think Salah is different this week. If you're looking to go different, I think Salah might actually be different because no one's looking at Salah. I don't think most people are looking at Marmoush or KDB or Man City asset, or even someone like Mateta, Eze if you've got him. Even Saka, I mean, minutes risk is a worry. Just it depends how many minutes you think Saka plays. Does Saka play 120 minutes out of the 2 games?
Doubtful.
I don't know.
It's very, very doubtful, especially when the season gets wrapped up as well. All the focus will be on the other competition. So even long term, Saka won't be as important to own. So really, you just got this double game week, and hopefully he plays enough minutes.
Yep.
But
let's take another comment. Lads, I'm concerned about committing to too many flaky players who might blank this week, but also 37. Savinho. Savinho is one that, personally, if you don't have Savinho, I wouldn't bring him in. I'd rather bring in KDB, I think. If I'm looking at it right now, I prefer KDB. But if you've got Savinho like I have, I think you just have to bite the bullet and keep him now. Unless you can get rid of him for free and your team doesn't need any other problems, you could maybe do Savinho to KDB for free. But obviously, I'm not in that position to do that because I've got likes of Dan Burn, Kusanov, etc. to sort out. But if you're in a good position, I don't mind Savinho to KDB, but I've done it last week. I did Foden to Savinho and it flopped. I just have a feeling if I do Savinho to KDB this week, KDB will probably get benched. So, yeah.
Pep Roulette has been very harsh this season for midfielders.
And also, are we locked on Marmoush captaincy? I think I'm locked, to be fair.
Yeah, I think now thinking about it, I probably will captain Marmoush if De Bruyne is in the lineup. If we get early team news.
I just feel like a clean sheet isn't worth and isn't enough because I basically lose the 4 clean sheet points. So he needs to get a GA for it to be worth it. And yeah, when you rely on GA from Bradley, it's possible, definitely, but whether you want to take that risk. Double game weeks are a headache, but exciting, says Jenny. Always, I do love a double game week though. But yeah, they can cause chaos sometimes. Hi guys, I need some help. Raya, Vardiol, Munoz, Konsa, Salah, Saka, Savinho, Rogers, Isak, Mateta, Marmoush, subs, Flecken, Murphy, Byrne, Gabriel, Glasner, assistant manager. 1 free transfer. Team looks fine, in my opinion.
I mean, there's not really a lot you can do with that because you've got triple Palace.
You might want to do Savinho to KDB depending on team news and leaks. If we hear leaks, if Savinho doesn't start, then I'd take Savinho out to KDB if we hear KDB starts. That's the only thing I'll do, Mark. But you're in a good position, I'd say. But yeah, I think I might lock my moves in, Jordan.
Yeah, I think it's set on those moves.
Another comment from Hizami. Morning, guys. Complete duo today. Yeah, we're back together. KDB or Saka? I am selling Palmer. Any thoughts from both of you? For me, right now, I like taking that risk with KDB, especially if you're chasing. I just think KDB is an exciting pick because he can have a double-digit haul. I think he will start today. Whether he starts again against Villa is questionable because you could never predict Pep. But I do like the excitement of owning KDB because I feel like KDB is one of those players when you own, it's always exciting because he's usually a massive differential and he has a potential to get a big haul. So I think I'd go KDB, but Saka, I mean, Saka's got Ipswich, which is a good fixture as well. Who knows what can happen? And then Palace at home. Don't mind Saka either, but if I had to pick, I'm leaning towards KDB slightly. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm doing this exact move to obviously KDB from Palmer. So yeah, I'm definitely on the Kevin De Bruyne shout because that's what I'm going to do. Zami, I'm taking Palmer out for him. I'm not really considering Saka just because of the purpose of Arsenal and this double game week. So I'm sure whether he starts first game, starts the second game. It's just a headache, I think, more for Saka than it is for KDB. And I think he'll be up for it, KDB, after scoring a goal and assist from Crystal Palace game last week. So, yeah, I think he'll be ready for this fixture against Everton.
Thoughts on KDB and Saka? For Saka and keeping Savinho. I would rather keep Saka and get in KDB if you can for budget purposes. If you can't fit it in, I don't like selling Saka, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't sell Saka, even though his minutes are a bit not guaranteed. But I don't think KDB's minutes are guaranteed either. KDB might start one and then come off the bench on one, etc. Same as Saka. So, yeah. Brilliant as always, guys. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and share the stream. It helps the channel so much. Yeah, as always, Hizami, really appreciate your support. Soul Searcher, I've messaged your ex with my team this week. Yeah, I see it here. I should bring it up. Yeah, so Raya, Saliba, Munoz, Vardiol, Saka, Rogers, Salah, Eze, Watkins, Mateta, Marmoush is your 11. And on the bench, you've got Sales, Murphy, Livramento, Williams. It's not an ideal bench boost, if I'm being honest with you, Soul Searcher. I would rather take out one of the Newcastle assets for another doubler. Maybe Murphy to like a Rashford or a Livramento to a Konsa, like a Villa defender potentially. But I think I'd take out Murphy for maybe a Rashford or someone like that.
Yeah.
Or you can even bring Ruben Diaz in.
Or even Asensio, because he's he obviously took 2 penalties. He did miss both of them, but yeah, if there is penalties to be taken, Asensio could be the one to score them, hopefully this time.
Marino as well, Hams has mentioned. Marino is a decent option if you want to go a bit different. Marino or Trossard, someone like that could go big. And yeah, looking at your bench boost, I wouldn't want to have 2 Newcastle and a Nottingham Forest defender, I'll rather have some doublers in there. Soul Searcher. Is there a chance KDB plays every game left as he's leaving City? I don't think so, personally. I don't think Man City will do that. They've got some crucial games coming up with Champions League, so they need to rotate as well, because we know KDB, can he play, midweek and then weekend again? So I think there will be some, he will get a rest. I don't think he's just going to play every game, personally. Will there be a chance to bench boost in game week 36? Yeah, so game week 36 might be a double game week. It's looking like it probably will, especially with Spurs now going through in the Europa League. Spurs might double in 36, so just bear that in mind, guys. So you might want to prep for that. Palace might double as well, I think. So you want to keep your Palace assets on the triple up, if that's the case. Thoughts on Gundo? Budget constraints. Not keen, but I mean, he's probably more likely to start both games than someone like Savinho, I guess. So
yeah, he's just not an attacking option. Gundogan. He hasn't scored any goals this season, and
has he not?
No, he's only had 4 assists, surprisingly, this season. Even though he's had fair involvements through the season.
Yeah.
Missed a few games here and there, but yeah, just not an attacking option for Man City this season. I think in your case, Soul Searcher, you might be better off bench boosting later on in 36, like we mentioned. If you're not in a position to do it this game week, because that's what I plan to do. Yeah,
you're in that boat as well, bench boosting later on. But your bench boost isn't bad. I mean, if you can bring in, if you don't want to go Gundo, you can bring in Rashford up. Surely, Soul Searcher, you can afford a Rashford for Murphy. I think Murphy to Rashford, or Murphy to even an Arsenal player like Marino. Great pick, I think. Differential. All right, I think I'm going to do my moves. What do you guys think of Kusanov? Like, it's very hard to see what him starting both, I think.
Yeah, it's a big ask for him to start both. But that it's one of those things that might just actually happen, though. It's not set in stone, really, if he'll start or miss both. Can go one way or the other.
Yeah, I think if you're to guess, though, if you put some money on it, I think you're looking at him probably not starting. Because I know things back. Akanji's back as well. I think from injury. I think it was Akanji. So that makes it even more unlikely, I guess, with another centre back being available.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Pep Pep prefers Akanji over Kusanov.
I'm going to leave it like this, I think. Savinho is the other one. I could do Savinho to... I can't even do Savinho to KDB, to be fair. So, yeah, I just have to bite the bullet with Savinho and pray he outscores KDB, which, again, it's not likely, but...
The only option for Savinho is probably Asensio or Rashford.
Yeah, but that's a -8.
Yeah, that's taking a -8 for a player.
I don't really want to do that, if I'm being honest. Don't know what to do with Savinho.
I mean, it must be a good thing that he didn't play last week. Sure, that's a good sign, because he played no minutes. Well, he played 8 minutes.
No, he played 8 minutes.
Yeah, he played 8 minutes in the last week game, but before that, he didn't play no minutes against Man United. So you would think he should start against Everton.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the moves.
I think the best thing that could happen is if he starts, maybe gets a goal and assist, then after the second week, it doesn't really matter if he starts or not, because he's made up for it.
30 minutes left to the deadline, guys. Play Isak or Murphy? Probably Isak. I am activating triple captain this week. Marmoush is a good shout. Yeah, I think Marmoush. I mean, we're running out of sort of double game weeks to play. I know might be one in 36, but season might be sort of done for a lot of teams by then, etc. What they're fighting for. So I would probably go with Marmoush this week. Probably looking like in terms of minutes, Marmoush should play both 90s against both teams. And Man City have a lot to fight for, guys. They need to get top 4, so they'll be going for it in both these games. Safe to offload Wood. Yeah, I think Wood was one you could got rid of weeks ago, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know he's back, but since injury, I think he has sort of winding down a bit. But he has been great this whole entire season. If you have had him that long. Yeah, I think it's safe to say you can offload Chris Wood now.
Yeah, I've made my mind up. I'm going to keep Savinho and just pray.
Hope for the best.
I'm going to do my moves. I'm going to do them now. I'm going to confirm. Half an hour left. So, make transfers. So, these are the moves I'm going to do, guys. Kusanov and Jacob Murphy out for Vardiol and Rogers, and that's for a -4 hit, which again, not ideal, taking a hit, but I think it's worth it because I'm bringing in 2 doublers who are guaranteed to play, where Murphy's got a single and Kusanov is a minute's risk, I think, for both games. So I'm going to confirm it. There you go. I've done the moves, and my bench boost now looks a lot better. Vardy will probably start actually, and Konsa is my bench boost. So yeah, so let's go confirm, guys, what my team looks like. Goal, I have Raya. Back three of Vardiol, Munoz, Saliba. Midfield 5 of Saka, Sarr, Salah, Savinho, Rogers. Up front, I've got Mateta and Marmoush. Every player in the 11 is a double game week player except Salah, which is a good position to be in. And on the bench, I've got Areola on the bench boost. Konsa, who is a double against City and Newcastle, sorry. And then I've also got Dan Burn and Isak on the bench boost. So, again, Dan Burn isn't someone ideally I'd like to have on there, but it is what it is now, I think. Unless I take a -8 for Burn to whoever now. I wouldn't even know where I'd go. Bradley. But yeah, I don't think Bradley's worth a hit. It's just me, but yeah, I'm sorted now. My team's done. What do you think of the bench boost, Jordan? Do you think it's fairly strong or?
Yeah, I'm liking bench boost because if Newcastle goes big against Aston Villa, then
yeah,
I think it's worthwhile. Then if Konsa does well against Man City in the second one,
it's 11 doublers essentially. I've got 11 double game week players and then single game weeks on the bench because obviously, well, it's not single games on the bench, but I've got 4 single game week players.
Yeah, and your goalkeeper Areola got Southampton at home, best fixture you can have.
Yep. Salah's got a good fixture for a single. It's just Burn and Isak. And Isak can score against Villa. Burn is the one. Probably not optimal, but it's very hard to have a great team on a bench boost 2 or 3 weeks after you wildcard. The ideal, obviously, situation is to wildcard, so to bench boost straight after a wildcard, so you're set up well. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see. That's a good bench boost.
Safe. So bench boosting 36. How about you guys? I'm bench boosting this week. Zami is active. I will be bench boosting with Konsa, Burn, and Isak and Areola. FOMO a bit to offload Jacob Murphy. He's in such good form. He is in excellent form. But if you're in my position, you can always. I plan to use a free hit next week. So Newcastle have Ipswich in 34, and that's absolutely fine because I can free hit Murphy back in. Then after that, Newcastle fixtures do get tough. Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. So you may not want a triple up on Newcastle anyway, but they have something to fight for. So that is one positive thing about those Champions League spots. Teams are looking to attack, and then should be in a good end to the season in that regard.
Yeah, long term, you'd want to keep these players because they have something to play for left of the season. A lot of teams won't have much to play for. For example, Arsenal, because Liverpool might be able to wrap it up this this week, as we mentioned. So that does mean there's no purpose for Arsenal now in the Premier League if that happens.
What's your plans, Jordan? You want to lock in your moves? Are you convinced on your plans, or
Well,
do you want to wait for team news?
Yeah, I'll wait for team news. I think I'll leave it as late as I possibly can because I think I'm setting the point anyway. But I think it's more the captaincy over him that's more of the main focus. But I've not seen any team news.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'd probably wait as well just to double check. Are you bench boosting or anything?
No, I'll be bench boosting 36 because I have an on-playing goalkeeper still.
Yeah. Wildy Marson.
Yeah.
Because you wildcarded so early, didn't you? When did you use your second wildcard? What game week?
The wildcard was used in game week 20.
Okay. Mark says thoughts on Kivior for Gabriel. Would have to bench Isak though. Then. Yeah, I like Kivior this week. Should have a double Ipswich, Palace. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. Good pick. Benching Isak, hopefully you've got a bench boost in your case.
I mean, I've seen in the predicted lineups everywhere that De Bruyne is in it, so it does give me some
confidence.
Yeah, confidence in that. So
could you take a -4 for a goalie? And again, I'm not sure if that's worth it, really.
No, again, I don't think for a goalkeeper I've been taking a -4 because if I did Areola, he's got Southampton at home. I just know that Southampton, even though they're pretty much there's nothing to play for them, they always seem to score at least a goal and wipe a clean sheet against any team they play against.
Yeah, fair.
For -4, I don't think worth it.
Yeah, I've got Areola. Hopefully, he can get me a clean sheet.
Yeah,
it's probably the best fixture. Relegated Southampton, but we know West Ham haven't been great as well, so we'll see.
It's a good game because the plan is for obviously the bench boost in 36, but I do want to save up as many transfers as I can between then and then, if I can.
You just got one transfer this week, right?
Yeah, only one this week. So
I've seen managers with like 4 or 5 transfers, which is mad.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they've managed to keep that many after a wild card and a double game week back to back.
Yeah,
quite interesting on there.
I should get a green. I'm thinking this week because last week was a red arrow for me, small one. I need a green this week. Hopefully, I think I should get it because obviously I am on a bench boost. Obviously, I know a lot of other managers are on a bench boost as well. I have taken a hit as well, which doesn't feel great if I'm being honest. But I know other managers might be in a similar position to me, taking a hit.
I'm surprised you got red though. Who was the player that made you get a red arrow?
I'll have to check because I don't actually know. Let me have a look. FPL.t no. Live FPL. So I'm gonna check. So I got how many points? 74 points last week, but my safety was 78. So I was 4 away from a green. It was a very small red arrow of 5%. I went from 448k to 471k, about a 20k red. But the main guy that sort of stopped me, let me have a look. Where do it doesn't actually say. Threats. It's not loading up. Website. Sorry. Threats was Livramento was a threat, 8 points, and Rogers also was a bit of a threat for me in my rank.
That's a surprise. Livramento and Rogers.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogers.
But I did have a thing on the bench, Console on the bench. who got
he
7
got the clean
points.
sheet.
I also had Murphy, got me 19 points, and I still got a red.
Yeah, and Isaac scored and he was your captain. But I guess
Yeah.
a lot of people did captain Isaac that week, which didn't really matter.
Yeah,
much.
I'm surprised I got a. To be fair, it's very small. So
Yeah,
looking at my team, I'm 10 points off 400k rank. And I'm 146. I'm 146 points off top 10k. So you can rule top 10k out. I mean, top 100k is probably the aim now. Don't know how many I'm away from that, but yeah, that's it.
I mean, it's top 1 mil for me. I think this season, not a great finish. I don't think
Yeah.
this season, but it has been one of those mixed match ones that hasn't gone the way.
I'm thinking of bench boosting Isak, Salah, Burn, and Martinez. Goalkeeper, Villa. I'm considering -4. Burn to Bradley, but I'm not sure. I can do that as well. Burn to Bradley, but I'm not sure if it's worth it, if I'm being honest. But you'd expect Liverpool to keep a clean sheet against Leicester, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool concede as well. So I expect Liverpool to win, though. But
yeah, you expect Liverpool to win, definitely. Leicester did break the streak of not scoring in 8 games.
yeah,
And surprisingly did draw against, I think, Brighton in the end,
Mm.
which was a shocking result. But good for Leicester.
shall I bench Salah for Konsa to make my bench boost look a bit better? like what Krogsberg is saying. Obviously, Salah's the better pick this week, but I could just bench Salah. But nah, if I was playing the team, that would actually be my bench, I think.
Yeah, because you would play your best 11 and then have your.
Yeah. So I want to see what the realistic points is, if you know what I mean, the bench points realistically.
Yeah. How many points do you see on that bench boost?
Let me have a look. I'm on FPL.team, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what my predicted points is. So bench boost. Let me see what my predicted points is. Give me a sec. What's going on?
Right, as Huss gets that up, I'll just answer a few more comments. So Shah says KB or Marmouche as captain. Team dependent, I think, and where you are in rank. I think KDB is a good captain if you're chasing rank, like I am. I'm in the 1.6 mil area, so I definitely want to be captain in KDB. But if you're higher up in the rank, Marmouche, I think, is a.
All right, Jordan is saying for me 105.7 predicted points on FPL.team. 105.7. And that's with Marmouche captain.
Interesting. So
what's it saying for you?
For me, I have to get it up.
Do your transfer as well, because you have to do your transfer.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I think regardless, I don't think we're going to hear early team news, so I'm going to do the move of.
All right, let me see if there's any news. I don't think we're going to get news at this rate.
No, I don't think we are. I think we would have gotten it by now, but sometimes we have seen team news come at the last literal second.
All right,
but,
cool.
Yeah, I've seen predicted lineups. I'm confident myself that KDB will start. So yeah, I am going to do the move. Let me just get the other screen up so you guys can see. So yeah, I'm going to make the transfers now, and Palmer is coming out of my team, and De Bruyne is coming in with 1 free transfer. So that is now confirmed. If I switch over to the other screen and refresh the team, you will now see that De Bruyne has entered the squad. And I am going to switch the captain from Teta to De Bruyne.
That's mad.
And save it.
The ADB captain, I like it, man. It's different.
It's exciting as well to go with a player like De Bruyne on a double game week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the team locked and set for me.
Cool. All right. Shah says KDB or Marmoush as captain. Well, Jordan's on KDB and I'm on Marmoush. I like Marmoush because I think he's more likely to play both 90 minutes over KDB. But if you want to be a bit risky, KDB is an interesting pick. Hi lads, just joined the stream. Who you got as captain, best captain this week? I think Marmoush for me is still the best captain. Jordan's on KDB, of course. I think a City players is popular. Saka would have been good, I think. If we can guarantee Saka would have played both games, I really like Saka against Ipswich and a Palace, but again, we can't confirm he's going to play both games. So for that reason, I just want to go with a minutes safety pick. I'm going Marmoush. What's your FPL team saying, Jordan, in terms of predicted points? Expected points.
Let me load that up now and we can have a look.
And make sure you do your team like captain and all that.
Yeah.
Looking at my team next week, I'd have so many blank players next week. Half my team. The only playing players I'll have next week is Salah, Isak, Burn, and Areola. 4 players that have a fixture.
Yeah, you definitely can't navigate past that.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna think this week. Free hit. Cool. And then going back to 35, my team looks fine again. I'll probably play Konsa. I'll play Isak that week. Maybe Savinho.
Well, it hasn't updated on FPL.team that I've actually done the move from Palmer to De Bruyne.
Yeah, you have to change it manually. Yeah, you'll have to manually do it.
Manually. Okay.
But it should say XP to the top right.
Yeah, that's all correct. Oh, quick. Yeah, expected points for me is 76.9 with De Bruyne captain.
Okay, mine's 105, so let's see how accurate that is.
Yeah, because I've not actually referenced how many the expected points from the FPL team in the game week, but I'll see how close it gets this week.
I'm currently on my bench boost, and the only issue is Dan Burn. Is he worth keeping or selling? I'd just keep him. Or I wouldn't be against -4 to get rid of him, but I wouldn't do -8. Raya, Vardiol, Saliba, Konsa, Dean, Eze, Sarr, Savinho, Martinelli, Mateta, and Marmoush, first 11. That's fine. Free hitting next week. Not sure about everyone else. Yep, definitely a need to free hit. I've only got 4 playing players next week. So soon as the game updates, I'll be smashing the free hit button and activating the free hit.
Yeah, same here.
How does your team look? If you go on FPL.team, if you go in Game Week 34, how many players does it say you have next week? I've got 4.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. I've got 10.
Ooh, you could get 9. Away with it then.
Surprisingly, 9.
Yeah, you could get away with it. If they're good players, I might save it, because if Game Week 36 comes around, free hit 36. Well, it's one to watch, one to consider, see what the free hit team looks like. And then if you can cover most of the good players, then.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at that.
Because I've got a lot of Arsenal. That's why you don't have any Arsenal. You don't have much Man City. Look at my. I'll show you what I mean. True. Let me share this tab. So this is my team this week. Yeah, 105 points expected, bench boost, and then I go Game Week 34. Look at this. So I've only got. Yeah, look, I've got Areola starting in goal. I've got Burn. I've got Salah and Isak. I've got triple Palace blank. I've got triple Man City blank. I've got triple Arsenal blank. I've got double Villa blank as well.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
So I have to, no matter what, free hit next week. But obviously, what position you're in, if you want to share your tab.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at this. But yeah, that's currently what my.
Burmo. Yeah. Nuri is a great pick. Might be actually on my free hit.
So I've got 8 starting players with 3 blanks. I
Yeah,
can get away with that if I transfer one each week.
you might have to take a hit though, because next game week, so you won't be able to get 11 without a minus
That's true.
minus 8.
-8. I
Yeah,
know. It depends what the free hit looks like as well, comparatively. Because if it's not much different to what I have there,
yeah.
I buy it by 3 players, then yeah,
I
I
mean,
could scrape through it.
let's look at the fixtures for this week and next week. Let me share my tab. These are the fixtures this week. Or we know what fixtures are this week. Let's look at 34. What sticks out? Let's see. Newcastle, you want a triple up for sure. So you're gonna want Murphy maybe on a free hit, maybe Isak, maybe I even would be tempted with Gordon or Barnes, Harvey Barnes, who got a 27 pointer, I think it was last game week. Fulham, Southampton, I think I'll be having at least one Fulham asset, maybe a Robinson, maybe a Muniz. Wolves, Leicester, interesting. You could go 8 Nuri, Cunha. Bournemouth, I think you'd want some Bournemouth assets against United. Wouldn't, because Man United might rotate in that one because of the Europa League. So Bournemouth might, like a Semenyo could be good. Kirkes, probably an attacker. Liverpool, Spurs. Liverpool, this is the game where Liverpool could win the league at Anfield. So you might want at least one. There's not that many great. I think the best fixture is
No.
Newcastle, Ipswich.
Yeah, or Wolves against Leicester, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking bringing Kundu in and maybe bringing in either Murphy or Barnes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't share my screen all this time. I thought I shared my screen. These are the fixtures. There you go.
Yeah, so I could possibly take a -4 and play with 10 and Captain Cunha.
Yeah, because looking at the game week 34 fixtures, nothing really excites me. I could get a Brighton asset, something like a Matoma or Pedro, but against West Ham at home, who know? You can't really call that type of game. Obviously, you definitely will have triple Newcastle. Yeah, Nottingham Forest, Brentford is interesting though. On Thursday, you might want like an Mbermo, maybe. Maybe you want a Forest. Maybe you want Chris Wood on a free hit. It's going to be interesting to see what free hit drafts look like. But
yeah,
fixtures are a bit up and down.
Yeah, seeing that. But again, I don't know when I'll use the bench boost then if I free hit in 36. But I think I'm not really keen on the bench boost anyway, so I might just play that in the
bench boost is probably the worst chip in terms of expected points. It's probably the chip that gets the least amount of points. The bench boost. Free hit is a much more powerful chip.
Yeah, I think for me it's more priority to use it in the double game week if I can get away with it in the blank 34.
Yeah, if you can get away with it, but yeah, it's up to you.
I think I'll do it because I'll probably bring in Cunha and maybe Barnes/Murphy and then Captain Cunha and then have 10 playing players bias 1. So I think if that fixture's on that board there, I'm not really missing out on key players. So I've got Isak, got Salah. Really, Palmer's been quiet, so I'm not really missing out on Chelsea there. Spurs been quiet. Man United have been great. Chris Wood's probably the one I'll miss out on. I've got Burma already. So I think
if I were you, I'd probably try get away with it. 10 players, and then use it in double gaming 36 when other people might not be able to get to triple ups on the doublers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. I think I've actually planned the way ahead for that now. I'm pretty confident there's no hiccups along the way.
Yep. All right, guys, get your moves locked in. It's about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm on the bench boost. I need a big week because I did get a small red last week. Jordan, you're obviously locked in. KDB captain as well. Any team news? Let's have a look.
I've not seen. I don't think we're going to get any.
I don't see anything. I mean, we can stay on the stream and wait for team news. How we used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll be very happy to see the winner's name flash up on that lineup. Because they are, yeah, it'd be like just under half an hour, so about 20 minutes after the deadline's finished, we should hear the team names.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely watching that game and see what happens.
Yeah, Marmouche cap sort of locked, I think, for me.
Yeah, because it would have been Haaland there, I think, for all of us captaining.
Yeah.
It's double possible.
If Haaland was fit 100% right now, triple cap Haaland, if you had it. This was a lot. Haaland being injured has sort of made it a bit boring, I think, because a lot of people would have had to decide Haaland or Salah and stuff, and people that would have sold Salah would have potentially been up on points.
Yeah. It would have made it much more different in terms of choice captain, a bit more exciting. But especially if Arsenal's scenario was different, where they were still chasing Liverpool and Saka never got injured, he would be another captain to contend with. If circumstances were not like they are now.
Doesn't look like we're going to get news though, but yeah, guys, lock your moves in. I'm just going to keep Savinho right now. There's no point worrying about it anymore.
Yeah, we're both hoping Savinho and De Bruyne are starting. It's obviously a lineup that's fast approaching.
I don't think Savinho will start, by the way. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling in it because not whenever I've tried Man City midfielder this season, it's not gone correctly. It's not gone good for me. So
let's look at Savinho's minutes. Has there been a part in the season where he's missed 3 in a row? No, there hasn't. He's either missed 1 game and played the next one, or missed 2 and then played 90 minutes in the next. So there's a high possibility that he will start. I think this first part of the double game.
Who's this, Savinho?
Yeah, because he hasn't missed 3 games in a row from being benched. He's either missed 2 or 1.
I think he was also had a slight knock, or he wasn't 100% like last game week. That's why he started on the bench, and they played the youngster. I forgot his name.
Oh, McAtee.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if Savinho starts 1 and then comes off the bench against Villa, then I'll take that at this rate.
I think that might happen. He might play 90 against Everton, be benched in that Villa game, come off for like 20 or 10 minutes. Realistically,
Saka. So looking at Saka, interesting. A lot of people have him. A lot of people don't have him. It's like an even split. So Saka could be a bit of a nice swing either way if you have him or don't. The Ipswich is a decent game if you can get minutes.
Yeah, if he can get minutes in that game, I think. Even though Arsenal might be out of obviously the possibility of winning it, Premier League, I think they'll still want to win it for the pride of getting as many points as possible to finish off the season at least.
Okay, there's a leak. KDB and Savinho start.
There we go.
Both KDB and Savinho start, so I'm happy. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I've done it in the end and took out Foden last week. But that's the leak. Let's see if it's right. Obviously, it's not confirmed. Obviously, it is a leak. You know, they can go wrong, as we've seen a lot of times. But yeah, deadline's over, guys. I think whoever went KDB, I think KDB is a great pick. I would have done KDB myself, but obviously I can't afford it. Anyway, I just realized I wouldn't have been able to afford KDB this week. But KDB is a good pick this week.
Hopefully, with if we see the official confirmed lineup, we'll both be happy with that. Obviously, that official lineup, hopefully.
Yep. Yeah, let's see. A lot of people bought KDB in though, which annoys me because I don't have him. But Savinho, can he outscore him? Probably not. But yeah, guys, there you go. That's the leak. KDB and Savinho start. We'll do a quick score predictions, Jordan, and then we'll probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
Quite a few fixtures this week. Obviously being a double.
Yeah, quite spread out as well.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of football. Let's start off with Brentford, Brighton. Brentford at home. How do you see this one sort of playing out?
What goals I think in this one from both sides?
I'll just give you some stats. Brentford have 1 win in their last 5. And who are they playing? Brighton. Brighton also have 1 win in the last 5. They're very similar, actually,
So,
form. 2 losses as well in the last 5. Same for both teams. Then 2 draws in the last 5. Got
really
identical form.
There really is not much in it for both of them. They'll be both going for it.
Yep, both bang in middle of the table.
Suppose
5 points separate each team as well.
But yeah, there's not much in it. I think it'll be. I reckon they'll cancel each other out. Maybe 2-2 in the end. Probably high scoring game. I don't think there's much to really play from either team, so they'll just have some fun.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw. Same as you. Moving on to Palace at home to Bournemouth. Now, Palace, slight wobble, back-to-back losses now, but before that, obviously, they were doing well. Bournemouth were on a big wobble as well, and they managed to get a win finally against Fulham last Monday Night Football, I think it was. Yeah, quite a bit to play for here for Fulham here. Fulham are now 9th and level on points with Bournemouth. So, yeah, how do you see this Palace Bournemouth going?
Tough one at home. Crystal, I think 2-1 Crystal Palace. I think they can get the win.
Yeah, I was going to go 2-1 Palace as well, to be fair. Both agreed on the same result. Moving on, Everton at home to Man City. Man City, 2 wins in their last 5. Everton, 1 win in their last 5. 3 draws, though, in there. Man City are currently 5th, 55 points. They need to obviously get wins. Chelsea are behind them by a point. A lot of things to play for, I still think. This top 4 race is going to be exciting. How do you see Everton getting on against City?
Oh, yes, I'm hoping for a big result here for this game, especially when Man City have a lot to play for. I see 3-1 Man City. I think definitely they'll be going for it against Everton.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't see Everton conceding that many goals personally at Goodison Park as well. So I think the first result we're going to disagree with. I'm going to be saying 2-1 Man City, but it's going to be a tight one. I wouldn't be surprised as well if it somehow ends a draw. I might 1-1, but I'll go 2-1 City. Moving on, West Ham at home to relegated Southampton. West Ham, obviously, terrible run of form. No wins in the last 5. Southampton, no wins in their last 5. Southampton need 1 more point to equal the Derby County season when they got 11 points. So Southampton are statistically the worst team in Prem history with 10 points. If it ends if they would lose their remaining 6, because the worst is 11, I think, with Derby County in 2007-8 season. Southampton could match it. How do you see Southampton West Ham going?
Yeah, obviously you should see West Ham win this. It just depends by how many goals they can score against Southampton. I think they can score at least 3 against them, but I do see Southampton scoring at least 1. So I'm going with 3-1 West Ham.
I'm gonna go 2-0 West Ham. I think we might keep a clean sheet. I'm hoping anyway with my goalie on the bench boost. Moving on then to sorry, who's the next fixture? Villa.
After Villa.
Villa at home to Newcastle. This one is huge.
Big for
This
both.
game is big because Villa are 7th, and Villa are 7th, and Newcastle are 3rd. Newcastle have 5 wins in their last 5, by the way. They're on big form. Aston Villa have 4 wins in their last 5, 4 wins in a row as well. There's only 5 points that separate these two teams from 3rd to 7th. If Villa can win, that will make it 2 points between them and Newcastle, which at this stage of the season would be massive. This is a 6-pointer. I think this is such a massive game. Villa at home. I can't call this one. This is going to be a tough one, and whoever wins this will probably get Champions League. That's how big this game is. Or maybe not Villa, but Newcastle. If they Newcastle win today, I think they'll get it. Champions League football.
Honestly, because of how big this occasion is, this score will be very low. I think 1, maybe 2 goals in this one. I'm going with 1-0 to Aston Villa.
You're 1-0 Aston Villa?
1-0 to Aston Villa. It could go either way, though. But I think it'll be a low-scoring game where there's only 1 goal involved. I think that might go towards Aston Villa.
So what's the score you're going?
1-0.
That's bad.
It's going to be low and tough.
I'm going to go for such a hard one to call. I'm going to go for a draw. I can't decide. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Mad game. But yeah, I'll probably be watching that, I think. Let's move on to Sunday's fixtures. Another 4 games we've got. Fulham at home to Chelsea. Again, this is a big one for Champions League race because Chelsea have now 2 games without a win, back-to-back draws. Chelsea are 1 point behind Man City in 5th. We know 5th spot is confirmed to get Champions League this year. Fulham are 9th, level on points with Bournemouth on 48. Do you see Chelsea getting a win they so desperately need, Jordan?
Hard to say because they've had such a massive drop-off and Palmer hasn't scored in 10 weeks for Chelsea and has affected their win ratio. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea actually lose this game. I'm going to go for a 3-2 to Fulham.
Oh, mad scoreline. I'm going to go for a Fulham win as well, though. I was going to back Fulham. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham. Not impressed with Chelsea, and I've been saying for quite a few weeks, Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are going to get top 5. I think they'll finish 6th now, and they'll sort of ruin their chances of Champions League football after being 2nd, I think, halfway played. Ipswich at home to Arsenal next. This was quite a big one. Obviously, if Ipswich manage to somehow get a win, and then if Liverpool win against Leicester and Arsenal lose, obviously the league will be officially wrapped up. But do you see Ipswich getting anything, or do you think Arsenal, back from their win against Madrid, get the win?
Tough one to say there because they play midweek against Real Madrid. Ipswich had a week's rest. Gives them a good advantage at home. I can possibly see Arsenal dropping again points, but I don't think they'll lose. I think this will be a draw, and I think it'll be 1-1.
Interesting.
I'm feeling they'll drop more points this week, but not lose.
Okay. Tough one to call. Obviously, Ipswich are going to go down pretty much. It's not been officially confirmed, but you expect it. But I'll back Arsenal to win just. I'll go 2-1 Arsenal win. Moving on to your team, Man United, coming off the back of a crazy match against Lyon where they went through sort of the last minute goal from Maguire. Again, Man United don't have much to play for. The league form is pretty terrible. I think 1 win in the last 5. 38 points. Man United down in 14th. They can't really get Europe. They won't get relegated. Again, Man United are in that position similar to Spurs where not really much to play for them for the season. How do you see this one going against Wolves?
Yeah, Man United in cruise control really this season. Not really nothing for them to go for. I think for the sake of for the manager's sake, they want to get the win still, just to not finish on a low.
Mm-hmm.
So I think result-wise, 2-1 Man United. I'd like to hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to hope for.
It's a tough one to call as well. Wolves, they're safe, I think. Fair to say they will stay in the league. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Moving on, Leicester at home to Liverpool. Again, obviously, Liverpool need a couple more wins. If Leicester lose against Liverpool, Leicester will be officially relegated, I believe. So it's one of those games for Leicester that you could get confirmed to go down. Leicester, no wins in their last 5. Obviously, finally got a draw, finally scored after 8 games without a goal. Liverpool have 4 wins in their last 5. I mean, how do you see this one going?
I mean, we could say that it's going to go Liverpool's way. I'd be very surprised if Leicester pull off the madness, as they're 1 game away from being relegated officially. So we'll go for Liverpool win. I'm going to say 3-1. I still think Leicester will score at 1 goal at least, but I think Liverpool will definitely get the win.
Yep. I was going to go same score, to be fair. I was thinking 3-1 as well.
Yeah, because I think they get the win and Arsenal lose. That's it. Job is done.
Yeah, 3-1 and Leicester to go down is what my prediction is. Moving on to Monday Night Football, Spurs at home to Forest. Again, big game for Forest. Forest in a bit of a wobble as well themselves. Back-to-back losses for Forest. They do have 3 wins in their last 5. Tottenham, 1 win in their last 5. They just went through against Frankfurt in the Europa League. That was big for them. How do you see Spurs getting on against Forest?
Yeah, it's a iffy one. I think Spurs are in a big trouble. Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. Nottingham Forest probably looking to bounce back. I think with Chris Wood returned to the pitch, I see a Nottingham Forest win, despite Spurs being home. I think surprising result 3-0 Nottingham Forest. It wouldn't be a result that we won't likely see, but I think 3-0.
Okay. You're going 3-0. I'm going to go with you. You're going 3-0 Forest?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go for 2-0 Forest, I think. Actually, maybe 2-1. I'll go 2-1 Forest. I think Spurs will get a goal. Moving on then, double game week fixture. We've got Man City at home to Villa. Now, this is again a big game because we'll have known how Aston Villa get. This is a massive week for Aston Villa. Newcastle and Man City, 2 big rivals. If they can beat both of them, it would sort of be. I mean, that will cause chaos, I think, for the top 5 race. But yeah, Man City at home, they need to win. Villa, we'll see how they get on 3 days prior. 2 days prior, sort of, when they play again on Tuesday. How do you see this one going in the Champions League battles?
Hard to call again, this one. It could go either way or no one's way. I've got a mad score in mind, though. What first came to mind was 3-3 to both sides. I think it'll be a lot of goals, back and forth, a lot of mistakes, but a fun game to watch. So I'm going to go 3-3 and
that's mad. Fair enough, man. I'm going to go for. I predicted Man City to draw against. No, Man City. No, I think Man City will draw this one actually as well. That's back to back. I'm sorry. I expect 2 draws from Aston Villa then. Draw against Newcastle, draw against Man City, sitting on the fence. But I'm going to go for. No, you know what? I'm going to be interested. I'm going to back a Villa win. I'm going to say 2-1 Villa away win. Big win. And then finally, last game of the double game week, we've got Arsenal up against Palace. Again, this one's interesting because if Arsenal win, let's say Arsenal win against Ipswich and then lose against Palace, that will also confirm the title to Liverpool without Liverpool actually playing, because it's a midweek fixture. So Liverpool could be champions, obviously heading into Spurs on their game week 34 fixture. This one's an interesting one because I think Palace could maybe get us something. I want to get your thoughts. Arsenal at home to Palace.
Well, yeah, because I imagine Arsenal will heavily rotate if they lose to Ipswich and Liverpool win against Leicester. There'd be no reason for Arsenal to actually play them strong 11. So
that's if that's if you think Arsenal lose, to Ipswich.
Yeah. So I think regardless, I'm still going to go for a Crystal Palace win against Arsenal. Most likely 2-1. I don't think it'd be a high score because defensively Arsenal still well.
I'm going to go for a draw in that one. I'm going to go 1-1 Arsenal Palace. I think Arsenal beat Ipswich, and I think what's going to happen is they drop points against Palace, and then the league could be confirmed without Liverpool actually kicking a ball. So that's what I think might happen. But ideally, I'd want Arsenal to win that one, win it against Ipswich, so Liverpool can sort of win while playing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
a bit more exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's it pretty much for the predictions. A lot of fixtures to come. So looking forward to this week. It should be a big week in terms of FPL. I can see 100 points being hit. As David says in a great stream, 100 points, 100 plus points for both of you this week. Yeah, I can see 100 points, high scoring week.
Hopefully the expected points for me is wrong. I'm 76 expected, but hopefully hit 100 for me as well. And
then David also, I bet Jordan was still cool as a cucumber throughout the Man United extra time comeback.
I mean, I needed emergency assistance at that moment. I was in the right state. I was far from a cool cucumber.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Enjoy the football. Man City lineup should come out in about 10 minutes, or it might already be out actually.
Let's have a look.
It's not out yet, but it will be out any minute, I believe. But we are gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you. I mean, when are we going to stream? Because it's a double now. Are we going to stream tomorrow? I think we are, right? And then we'll leave the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday fixtures. Or do you want to stream on a Wednesday? Or
I might as well stream on the tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Should be
stream coming tomorrow, guys. Straight after Liverpool game. So stay tuned. Obviously, it's going to be halfway point. But we'll see how it goes. But take care, guys, and enjoy your bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, take care, guys. Have a nice weekend.